All right, so I wanted to come with this new video topic, and the title for this video is Don't Wait to Get Married Before Having Intercourse. If the woman isn't a virgin, don't fucking do it. Don't be dumb, guys. Have that sex, because when you have that sex with her, if she's not a virgin, she's had sex with other dudes before. It doesn't matter the amount of dudes necessarily she's had sex with before, but the more and more dudes that she's had, the different types of dicks that's been in her, girthier dicks, longer dicks, or lengthier dicks, right? Shorter dicks, skinnier dicks. So you got to make sure when you're hitting that it's the best dick she's ever had. And you're going to know if it's the best dick she's ever had, because she's going to leave clues for you to know that. You'll make her come real quick and come over herself multiple times over and over again within even just a short session, right? Even if you're just going like, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, or 10 minutes. That's what I would consider a short session, because I can last for hours. Like, I can go hours. I just don't have to bust my nut. If I don't bust my nut, my dick's going to stay hard and stay aroused. So I can pull out, have a break, like literally just a 1 minute break to reset, because my dick has been pulsating for like 10 minutes in a row. So I pull out, I reset, and then I get back hard again and go in, right? And it might get sore after a longer session, but I'll stay erect during the whole time. So, it will be enjoyable still, right? And so, but the point is that you got to fuck her before you get married, because if she's not a virgin, then she's got something to compare you to. And you got to make sure whatever she's comparing you to, that you are more adequate, that you are more, that whatever she's comparing you to is also inferior in comparison to you. Because if it isn't, and she's going to be like, probably not wanting to have sex with you as much if the sex isn't good, right? If it's not top tier, top notch, she's probably not going to be having sex with you as much. So the first few times that you have sex, you really got to make sure that you're doing that damn thing. Because after the first couple of times, you hit it the first time, maybe she waits a while for you to let you hit, after she's convinced that you're both aligned in the things that you want out of life, right? And this is talking about a long-term relationship with like a girlfriend to be wife type of scenario. And then so after a while of her analyzing and assessing whether both of you are aligned within life, when she reaches that conclusion, and it turns out that you are both aligned to where you want to direct and lead your lives towards, and that you want to do this together, that's great. And then she's going to let you hit from that point. And then at that point, after you've hit for the first time, you should kind of start to see certain signs like, okay, you've made her, as I said, you've made her ejaculate over herself a couple of times. And then also on top of that, she's wanting to touch you more sexually, like just randomly grabbing your, you know what I'm saying, during different parts of the day, right? Maybe, and also on top of that, she's then signaling that, okay, I want to do more of this with you, because the first time or first couple of times was so good. Either the first time was really good or the first time was okay. And then after the first couple of times, your body started to adjust to each other, and you started to figure out what each other liked in that activity. And then so over time, she's going to have to signal to you that she wants more. And if she doesn't become more affectionate with her touch with you over time, touching your body and, your lower, like your private parts alongside that, right? If she's not doing this over a period of like a couple of weeks or months after y'all have been interacting sexually, then I think it's safe to say that you're probably not, doing something right there, and that another dude has probably done it better than you before, if she's already had other dudes. You can assume that, I would say. Right? It's a possibility, yes, that she may have slept with some guys, and that all these guys weren't great in bed, and that they, busted up very quickly, and they weren't able to go for a multitude of rounds for a longer session. It's possible that all guys before her had pretty inadequate stamina and game when it comes to the bedroom. So maybe you'll be the first dude in her life to come in with that stamina, with that, with that experience, and pretty much introduce her to what sex is, right? For real. Because a lot of guys are not that great in bed. They have a struggle of communicating whilst also being able to perform and adjust to the situation at the same time, right? So you got to make sure that you are just bigger and better in every single way, honestly. It would be preferable that you'd be bigger than the other dudes, right, in terms of your size, and that you'd be better in terms of the motion of the ocean. Because if you don't have sex with her before you get married, she's not going to feel fully bonded and in love with you. Yes, there are things you can do, like, you can have intimate time together, you can cuddle, you can kiss, have foreplay, etc. But you can do, have romantic dinners, you can have, take holidays together and go on trips. But if you don't dick her down, you are missing part of the love equation that needs to happen in order for it to be complete. And now she's all the way submitted and committed to the relationship that y'all have going on. And at that point, she won't be able to imagine another man. But when you haven't had sex with her, the thought of another man is still prevalent in her mind, right? And you got to erase that shit as soon as possible, right? If you're doing long distance, it's going to be harder. But if you close the distance, then get straight to the sex as soon as possible and as soon as she allows you to. That's what I advise, guys, right? And if it's shorter distance, then it's not going to be as difficult, and you're going to get there a lot faster. Obviously, there's not a language barrier, and there's not a distance barrier there either. So it's going to happen a lot quicker for you in a shorter distance relationship than in a longer distance relationship. But this is essential for both types of relationships, because eventually you do want to close the distance. And if you're doing well enough in life, you're earning enough money, you have like location freedom for your business, time freedom, and also financial freedom, then you can easily make that work, especially in today's internet economy as well. You just got to be a bit smart about it, maybe have a business, and you can definitely make that type of relationship a lot more realistic nowadays. Even though it's a little bit taboo, long distance relationship, I don't know if I can trust the other person, etc., etc. Well, just stick in with it, right? And you'll see over time if you can trust them or not. And if you can't, something will come out anyway. A friend of theirs or a family member will say they did this with this person, or someone will say, oh, I did this with that person. And you can just be like, when? What's the date? You match up the dates. If you're in a relationship at the same time and she did something with another guy in her home country, because y'all couldn't be close enough together in time and she just kind of caved in to the pleasure, then at that point, you can be like, okay, this is not to be taken seriously, or I'm just going to cut off ties completely, right? But if it's not that, and y'all are truly in a monogamous relationship where no party has done each other dirty at all, now you're finally be able to get to see each other, you've got to have that sex. Don't get married not having that sex, right? Even if unless the girl only deserves that if she's a virgin. If she's not a virgin, she doesn't deserve it because she's not innocent. And she's got things people to compare you to, real life sample sizes, right? And so this is pretty animalistic and primal, what I'm telling you, but it's the basic fact of human nature and biology. And you can't ignore this, because if you ignore this, you're going to get your heart so fucking broken, you might you might delete yourself and never come back. So to avoid of that, I'm going to tell you how it is, and then you move accordingly. Always move accordingly with women, always, right? So move off of the energy, essentially. And so, she'll be showing you if she wants to touch you more after y'all have had sexual intercourse, then obviously, the sex has been going good. Otherwise, she wouldn't want to do that. If she's not doing that as much, the sex isn't going good. And if the sex isn't going good, it's only a matter of time before the relationship ends, because sex is the foundation of a relationship. Like, it's not friendship. It's about when she looks at your profile, it's about, oh, he looks good looking, I might send him a message. Or if he sends me a message, I'm going to entertain it to see what his personality is like now that I've already found him good looking. There are pre-qualifiers for dating, and guys, you can't get lost in this one-night thing of being like, damn, I want this one woman. But if she doesn't fucking want you, dump her, bro. Leave that shit. Go have your fun. Get some hoes or something, like, or work more on your business. But do something that's productive, because you cannot wait for these women, that have already been outside. They're not worth it. I could only ever, I have the ability to be celibate, because I've practiced celibacy before. So I know if I ever got a virgin woman, it would be nothing for me to be celibate and then get married to her and then do the thing. And also, I'm comfortable in my size, me being black and African descent. I've got a pretty good size, and I can't say for all black guys because I'm sure it's not the case, and there are cases where it doesn't meet the expectations of what the general society has based off of corn and stuff like that. But I would say that I kind of do fit the stereotypical criteria, which is a good thing, and I uplift myself because of that, and I'm grateful, I'm thankful. And of course, I use that to my fucking advantage. And it's going to make me a bit arrogant and a bit like, yeah, I know I'm the man, right? Because I've been there and done that. So it's like, please don't get married to her before exploring everything that she has to offer. Because if you, for example, don't explore all of these aspects to a relationship, then you get married to her, right? She's not a virgin. And then you go to explore it. And then it's, you go into it with an expectation and it doesn't meet it, or it doesn't surpass it, then you're going to be left underwhelmed and disappointed, and disillusioned with all the time you've wasted investing into it. You have to understand that women are like an investment, and you got to make sure you're investing in something that has, a good return for you. So you want to make sure she ain't been dicked down by no BBC. And I'm telling you this with a BBC myself, right? You want to make sure that, you know who her ex-partners are, you know what race they are, ask certain things, like get specific. And if she gets offended and doesn't want to talk about it, move on. She's not for you. Because a real woman would actually tell you about that shit. Like, in her own womanly way, she's not going to tell you in communication the same way a man would tell you. She's going to be maybe a bit more indirect, but she's still going to give me that ultimatum answer I'm looking for. Because if you got something to hide, then I don't want to deal with you. I am truthful to the core, and it hurts a lot of women because nowadays in this gynocentric epidemic, women have a lot more freedom than they ever had, and I spoke about this on a previous video, but traditionally, since before the whole, female rights revolution, so we're talking about over 50 years ago now, the norm would have been like the woman, no one's ever seen the woman sexually apart from her specific sexual, partners that she's had in her lifetime, like the men that were in her life. Now she's posting that stuff on social media and everyone gets to see it. So men that don't even ever get to interact with her directly sexually can do it indirectly through masturbation, through her photos online that are showing the shape of her body and the assets that she carries, right? Pun intended. And so this in and itself is a form of like corn, right? But damn near every woman does it. So even a woman who has good qualities and character to her, right, in certain aspects, is still going to do that to promote herself, to see what was the best kind of man she can get, But the issue, I would say it's innocent, because at the end of the day, I can't blame a woman doing that, living in today's time. If they're still alive, they're going to adjust to what the current climate of relationships and what relationship dynamics look like between human beings now, because we have all this evolution, we have all this technological advancement that you can't expect a woman to act the same way before 1970s as she will in the current 2020s. It's not feasible. So but like as a man, you still have to put your foot down as much as possible and in as many areas as you can, whilst also being able to maintain a relationship. Because modern relationships now, they are simply not as loyal, not as committed, not as faithful as they were, and they won't be for a very long time from this point going forward. Until we start to see some revolution on this evolution of life, where we start to go back towards maybe a more traditional sense where we remove the rights of women where they don't really need rights for, like working a 9-to-5 job when they can have their man who's doing that and taking care of them. And, because there was a lot more respect and genuine intentions in those relationships from back in the day. All the relationships from the 2000s and upwards have been cooked, and they're continuously getting more and more cooked over time, right? And some of them are literally cooked as well, which is fucking wild, right? And I would never accept that. I'd rather die, you know? Because I have honor and I have pride. I'd rather sleep with hoes for the rest of... If I can't get a loyal, faithful wife and make her as submissive as possible, you know, and leveraging my status and all these things to do it, but she's still over influenced by the modern groupthink of women in society, right? And she doesn't have her own brain, then I'd rather dump that girl and just go sleep with hoes because I know what it is. There's no attachment, and we're just having a friends with benefits situation, and I'd do that for the rest of my life, you know, and I would be okay. Yeah, I would never produce kids in that scenario, but I don't know, maybe one side of the family has to die so the other one can then strive. Maybe someone else will have to pick that up for me, like my brother, you know, I got a younger brother, so maybe you'll have to do that, you know, you'll have to take over for me, take over what I left behind. We'll have to see. But I mean, we're in the same generation, we're a similar age, like he's a couple years younger than me, so it's really not, it's really not like too different. But it's just to explain to you, like, if a woman isn't innocent, don't fucking treat her like one. Like, yes, you can be gentleman and respectful when it's necessary, but when she does certain shit out of line because she's seen shit and now she has an attachment to the things that she's been exposed, and there's a lot of things there, you have to fucking call that shit out and be like, I don't like that shit, bitch. Right? And that's it. And if she don't want to talk to you and she didn't talk to you ever again, fucking dump that hoe. Leave her. You know? She can't handle the truth. You know? Like, truth is extremely important for me because all I operate is in truth. I'm truthful to myself. Like, I say to myself, damn, I'm strong, I'm big, but I could be bigger. You know, that's being truthful. Why? Because I'm 23 and I got a lot of testosterone. I got a lot of time to put on more muscle. God forbid, the only way the only thing that can stop me from doing that is myself. If, I don't know, maybe if I pass away for some crazy reason, you know, but God forbid that it could happen. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm on course to achieving the goals that I set out to do. So it's just like, brother, if a woman isn't being respectful and you can't call her out, and the only way she feels like she's in love with you is if you're coddling her, always being positive, and you never have some negative shit to say, sometimes you have to tell a bitch, like, hey, I don't like that shit. Hey, fucking stop. What the fuck are you doing? Like, are you out of your mind? You know? Because you got to give her this emotional turmoil to a degree, because it's like, you know, I know you're not innocent, so I'm not going to treat you like that, right? An innocent woman gets way different treatment from me than a woman who ain't innocent. They both get respect, but they get respect relative to their levels of innocence. That's my take on it. And so, you know, if a woman is telling you wait till marriage, because I had women tell me this, and I'm just like, all right, but I'm not really believing that shit. You know, it's just something I say in the moment to make them feel like, oh, okay, pass the test. I was just saying, is he going to be a bitch and cry about it and be like, no, I need it now because I want it. And it's like, I do feel like that on the inside, but yeah, on the outside, I'm just going to be like, whatever, you know, because it's like, I'll give you as you're telling me to wait until marriage, I'm also inside giving you a time frame and period to where if I don't get it by a certain time, we're done. You know, you can get the fuck gone, because I'm not going to wait until marriage, right? I might tell you that just to see, because women will change their mind. They don't stand on a lot of things they say. And if you're really attractive or become really attractive to her, she's going to bend her original concepts and rules for you in order to adjust for your, you know, for our happiness and our pride, right? And a woman that can do that, I respect, because I put the work in. Yeah, of course you should be bending some rules for me. If I put the work in and I'm exceptional and I'm better than the guys you have access to, yeah, you have to bend the rules for me, right? It only makes sense. I didn't get this far for fucking, you know, just like some regular treatment with no, you know, I didn't get this far to fucking get a cake but not have any icing on it. Like, are you mad? No, you're going to give me my fucking icing because I have the amount of money to pay for it. And if you're not willing to accept my money, you'll lose business from me and I'll go somewhere else. So it's really that simple. And I say this with a bit of aggression and directness, because I'm forward and I'm passionate about this topic. And it's something that I feel like a lot of men might be thinking about doing, and a lot of men have already done, and it's hurting them. Like, don't do that shit, man. She's not a virgin. She don't deserve that that same level of like you know, I'm going to conform a little bit to your, you know, viewpoint so that I can make sure I'm in a good place with you, you know, as time passes by. Like, but yeah, if it's not a virgin situation, don't fucking wait for nothing at all. You know, what are you waiting for? And the other nigga didn't wait, did he? You know, so you ain't putting me with him, you know. And if you're having sex with me, you better be putting in more work with me than with him. You know, don't expect me to do all the work. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm hitting you from the back, you better be twerking on that shit. You know, better be shaking something. Like, you know, you better be going up and down and treating this shit like a roller coaster ride. Don't stand still and have me doing all the thrusting and you're not like, you know, you're not bouncing back on anything. Like, I need to see that, you know, so that you're into it, right? Because if you're not into it and I see that, then it's cool. I know that, okay, just not the one for me. I'm going to move on. That's it. I don't waste my time. You know, I do catch feelings for people who can make me feel something. But at the same time, if you don't give me that feeling anymore, something's changed and the energy is shifted. I know what's up and I just dip. I don't give a fuck, right? Because that in and of itself is enough of a reason to be like, this isn't working anymore, you know? So yeah, I mean, you know, don't treat her like she's innocent if she ain't. Stick to your masculine frame. Trust your fucking gut, right? And just, you know, say what's on your mind always. Who gives a fuck if it hurts her? If you're really that guy, she's gonna come back, because what's she gonna do? Try and maybe see about other guys who are pussies and are gonna coddle her while she's hurt. And then when she's healed from that hurt, she's gonna realize that she was just in a trance of thinking that she liked those guys that were coddling her, but she used them because she was hurt at the time. Now that she's healed and she's ready to be hurt again, essentially, guess what? She's going back to fucking Chad, who's gonna make her feel that sense of hurt. Why? Because she's addicted to that shit. It's like a drug, right? You know? So, yeah. Because relationships nowadays, man, the dynamic is so fucked up and everything is so much in a woman's favor. They go to court, they can make up something, say that you did something you didn't, and get you to close the case before it even really starts, because, you know, they're threatening to sue you, and you if you face this and you battle this, you could go through a lot of legal fees, more legal fees than you would have to pay if you just closed the case and you just said that, okay, whatever, yeah, did that, all right, let's move on, right? Okay, even though you didn't, right? And so a woman's tears and a woman's words have so much fucking power. It's absolutely unbelievable. So as a man, we have to move through our actions more, and we have to be extremely decisive about whether this woman is really for us or not, you know? Because women are going to continue to use and abuse the power that they've been building up for such a long time now. And if you've been paying attention, you know that this shit is true. You can't deny it, you know? From just being able to just get into the workforce and vote to now being able to do prostitution and it be promoted all over social media and all of this stuff, bro. And, you know, women are the winners of today's era in society. It's women at the forefront. They are running shit. Men ain't running shit in this society. Now, granted, we give women the platform to be able to do all of these things, but at the same time, you got to show some respect, because they fought for all of this shit for so long ago that now that it's here, they ain't giving that shit up. They're not giving this power up for a while, you know, until things really go out of hand. So if you think that society today and the dynamics of relationships between men and women today are bad, brother, 2030 has a whole nother fucking thing coming for you. 2040 has a whole nother fucking thing coming for you. And maybe in end of 2040, early 2050, things might start to revert to some type of balance between the relationships of men and women, because it's not balanced nowadays. It's unbalanced. It's like women are feminine and also masculine, and men are more so feminine, and they get shamed for being masculine. If a woman wants to be masculine, yeah, you go, boss babe. If a woman wants to be feminine, yeah, you go, trad wife. If a man wants to be masculine, misogynist. If a man wants to be feminine, oh my God, we support you, you're so brave. Like, where's it's an imbalance. Women have the opportunity to be anything they want to be nowadays. Men can't. And men can't. Bro, it's insane. It's a reason why a lot of men are not committing or finding struggle to commit to a woman, because every time she does something, just when you feel like you're finally starting to fuck with her, she fucks it up. She goes and posts something stupid. She goes and says something stupid, you know? And it's just like, fuck, you stupid bitch. Like, I was really getting into you. Now it's just like, all right, now, like, okay, I got to keep this shit player, because at any moment you can switch. So I got to be ready to switch, because I ain't going to get left switched up on. Fuck that, you know? Because we're all opportunists. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We all want something. And it's like, if I want something and I'm not getting it, and you want something and you're getting it, I'm going to feel mad and angry. I'm going to want to tear you apart, man or woman, right? I may not do it in a physical sense, maybe in a virtual sense, maybe in a physical sense as well. Who knows, right? Because I feel that way because it's natural to feel that way. I'm getting hard done by. Of course, I'm going to, feel a certain way. So keep that fucking fire within you as a man, and know that, if she does anything to fucking upset you, let her the fuck know of that, right? And who gives a fuck if she runs away or not? She'll run away and run into a dude who will cuddle her, and she'll think she likes it, and then he might get to fuck, and she'll realize he's a bitch and he ain't on his shit, And now that he got to fuck, he got comfortable. So who's really winning there? It's that dude. That dude's winning, and I'm winning because I don't have to deal with the stupid bitch, and the bitch is losing. She's the only person losing in the fucking interaction, right? She's getting older and saggier by the day after she turns 20 years old, right? After we turn 20 years old, yes, as men, we get older as a natural human life cycle, right? With age, growth, and development. But what also do we get? We get more testosterone, more muscular, right? We're the ones who have the advantage. We're the ones who have the power. Never forget that. Women only hold the keys to sex. We hold the keys to a relationship, right? And we're going to vet you during the period of which we're having sex with you, and then doing and dates with you. And we're going to see, are you really wifey for the long term, or you're just fucking a fake bitch who's playing with two different, you got two, on one day you got this face, and on the next day you got another face, We don't want to see that, man. For the most part, we just want to see one face, right? Then we know that it's real, because we ain't got, we ain't wearing a mask or nothing like that. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Just wanted to let you know of that, and keep this shit in mind, dude.